today on Unpacking, I'm going to be speaking to, hold on, let me break it down. DJ Akio, right? He says that he's an American with Japanese origin and a legal resident of South Africa. Okay, so yes, we are going to talk about, how everything played out for him. But let's welcome DJ Akio.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming. You know what I'm going to do, DJ Akio? Because he said that there has to be a T as a requirement, right?
To be on
My
the
name
team.
is Lenny, so
Yes.
I'm going to change it to Thani.
There we go.
So that I can join the,
You can
the
join
team, right?
now.
Yeah. That's an inside joke.
Yeah.
Just a quick inside joke because he has two teammates here, Thabo and Thabo. Am I right?
You're exactly right.
Thabo and Thabo.
Yeah.
So I am Thani.
Yes.
Thani, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm part of the team now.
Part of the team.
But you're welcome again to Ghana.
Thank you for having me.
And also to Accra specifically. How are you doing?
I'm great.
I appreciate that you really came early, right?
Yeah.
Came here.
It was by accident, but yes.
It was by accident,
but it doesn't matter.
yes.
We were still here early.
Yes. Thanks for showing up as early as you did, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what brings you to Ghana this time? Let's just assume that I don't know.
Okay, so we are here for Strictly Soul, which is Africa's biggest R&B events community,
Yes.
and we have the event on Friday in Accra.
And this is the third Strictly Soul
Yes.
rendition for Accra, right?
Yes.
But DJ Akio, before we get into Strictly Soul and what birthed the need for an R&B event as Strictly Soul,
Yes.
let's start from you and how DJing started for you.
Okay, so for me, when I was in university, I was always like a pretty social person. Even growing up, I always wanted to be in entertainment. But like as you mentioned, I have Japanese origins, so my parents are immigrants.
Okay.
So growing up in the U.S., like the thought of being in entertainment was like not even a possibility. Like it was go to university, get a master's degree, work in finance, become a doctor, become
Follow
a
the
lawyer.
blueprint.
Yeah, something like that. So deep down in my heart, I always wanted to do something in music or entertainment. So when I was in university, fulfilling obviously my parents' desires, I used to throw a lot of house parties and stuff like that. And I would always kind of DJ without knowing that I was actually DJing, but it was just like playing the music at the party. And then when I moved to Japan, after I graduated, I bought my first set of turntables and a mixer and started throwing like house parties. But again, it was just out of love.
fun.
Yeah, it was out of the love. And then went back, got my master's degree. And then during that point, I became like the student DJ. So all the student nights, all the house parties, all of that, I was doing that. And then eventually, when I moved to South Africa, I was working in international development, but I started a party on the side, and then things just kind of started getting bigger and bigger. And then at one point, I'm just like, you know what? This is what I actually really wanted to do. Let me just do this. Yeah.
Because you mentioned school, I just want to find out what was your first degree and then what was your second degree?
First degree was economics and art history,
Okay.
and second degree was international relations.
How are you balancing these courses with your passion as well, still being in school?
I would say that my grades suffered a little bit. I still did okay. It's not like I was failing.
I like the honesty.
My grades were still pretty good, but I feel like I was very focused on like nightlife and community, and I think that's what I've always been good at is outside of like the music and the talent or whatever. It's like bringing people together. I've been able to do that since I was 5, 6, 7 years old.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What were you doing at 5, 6, 7 years old?
I was like the guy in the neighborhood who would organize all the sporting events. Like everybody would come through to my house. Like I was always like the center of like
At that
a group
young
of people.
age.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so now you've moved to South Africa. What necessitated that move for you?
I was working at the International Criminal Court after I graduated.
Okay.
I was still kind of DJing on the side, but I had an opportunity to work with a radio station, and we were doing youth development using hip hop. So during this time, I was more of like, so hip hop and R&B were always like my loves, like musically growing up. But during this time, I was more of a hip hop DJ. That was like my main focus. So we were using hip hop for youth development in different parts of Cape Town with a radio station. So that's what I did to move out there. So I quit my job at the International Criminal Court. I said I want to do something with music and also with my degree. So that's kind of what.
That's how you've blended the degree and the passion into one.
Right.
So is that how Strictly Soul was birthed?
No, so when I first moved to South Africa, I started an event called Cool Out, which was a hip hop themed event. So that was really my come up, was through hip hop, because like 2000. 2011 to say 2017 was like the golden era of South African modern hip hop. So that's when there was like AKA, Casper, Ricky Rick, all of that. So yeah.
You know, 2 of the 3 people you mentioned have passed. And it's just really sad.
They were
God
both
rest
close.
their souls. Yeah, God rest their souls.
Yeah, so during that time, like I'd started that hip hop party 2008 to 2011. So when hip hop became commercially viable, we had already had a base and had an existing property. So I was there kind of at the right time. So I was able to kind of be a part of that wave, and we had a lot of like sponsorship money that came in. We brought a lot of U.S. artists to South Africa, so a lot of golden era artists. So that was kind of my come up. Strictly Soul happened. The idea came in 2016 or 2017.
Okay.
So I was part of a DJ collective. There were 3 of us. And I would always kind of do the opening sets, the early sets. The 2 other DJs I held in very high regard. So I let them kind of play the later sets. I was never wanting to be like the main act. I was too shy for that. I liked being kind of the person behind the scenes.
Are you still too shy?
Nah, I've embraced it now,
Okay.
you know. But so I started experimenting, playing more R&B at the beginning because it was a hip hop party, which meant it was a lot of guys. So I was like, all right, let me experiment with some R&B, play for the girls a little bit more. So around 2016, 2017, I was like, you know what, this could be a thing. Why don't we do a whole party for R&B? So I presented it to my team. We did a whole conceptualizing, brainstorming session, came up with names, ideas. And then we just kind of moved on from it for a bit. We moved into like SoundCloud music.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that. Remember that era? SoundCloud was really popping.
Yeah.
So the remix stuff,
yeah.
yeah. And then when COVID came, I was like, all right, you know what? I'm sitting at home. I don't have anything to do. Let me start doing live streams of just R&B.
Okay.
So then we developed the name. We came up with like an idea, and then every Sunday for like 6 weeks, me and my friend. Like the restrictions were strong in South Africa. We couldn't go anywhere except to the store. So we'd take all my DJ equipment up on my rooftop, me and my one friend who lived in my neighborhood, and we would stream an R&B set every Sunday.
So when was the first in-person Strictly Soul?
October 2020.
Okay.
So 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
So this is actually the birthday month of Strictly
Okay.
Soul as a live event. Yeah.
Okay, so now from that one that you had in 2020, you've moved into a lot of different cities across the continent.
Yes.
So please, I'm just going to give you a few minutes to blow your own trumpet. Please, let's go.
So we did our research, like in South Africa. At that time, the R&B party didn't exist. So they only had like Soulful Sundays, which is like very old school for like your aunties. There was no parties. And even when we tried to develop it, everybody was like, oh yeah, R&B, let's do it on a Sunday. And our position was that we did not want this party to be on a Sunday. It was a Thursday, Friday, or Saturday night party. It was a party. We wanted to show that it could have as much energy as like an Amapiano party or a house party or anything like that. So that's the way that we positioned it. So we did it for, again, we had to deal with COVID. So there were still restrictions on travel and stuff like that. But 2022, we moved to Botswana. 2023, we launched in, again, we checked across the continent. Nobody was doing R&B. And another thing is like, shout out to Amapiano, because Amapiano was dominating so much that people were looking for something a little bit different. Yeah, because as we all love Amapiano, but people didn't want to hear it every single night. So we looked, nobody was doing R&B anywhere. So I remember 2022, I used to travel a lot as a DJ, and I'm presenting this everywhere that I'm going. Yeah, I've got this R&B party. It's doing really well in South Africa. We can do it here. And everybody just like, it'll never work. People are laughing at me. Nobody wants to hear R&B. That's an opening night. You can only play that early in the night. Everywhere I went. So finally, eventually in each country, I found one person who believed in me and said, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
So we started moving out. We did Dar es Salaam first. And I remember all the other promoters, all the club owners who had told me that it wasn't going to work, were all at the first one. And
then
we
I'm
sold
sure
out.
Immediate regrets.
But it took within the next 2-3 months, every single one of them had an R&B night. All of a sudden, you know. And then we moved from Tanzania. Then eventually we added Kenya because we were flying Kenya Airways a lot. So we figured we might as well just do the party in Kenya. Same thing. Said it wasn't going to work. Sold out the first event. Then we moved to Rwanda, eventually Uganda. Now we're also in Namibia. We're launching in Lusaka, Zambia next month. We just had our launch in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia.
Okay.
This past weekend, sold out. It was like 1,200 people for the first event. So,
Awesome.
I think when you give people something that doesn't exist, but you present it in a really nice, refined package, it's to the point now people ask us to come.
When are you coming?
Yeah, when are you coming? And then we check the social media and people will say, come to Mozambique, come to Zimbabwe, come to Lesotho. So we kind of gauge where the interest is.
But in all of this, you came to Accra.
Yeah.
Congratulations on all of the cities that you've been to, all of the countries that you've been to, right? Also now, I think that with Strictly Soul, you're also reviving the love for the genre,
yes.
right? Because then people will place that genre in a particular or in a number of years or in a particular decade, right?
Yes.
Where they'll say that, like you rightfully said, I mean, in this decade, right? People are not as much binge listening to R&B as they will maybe Afrobeat or Amapiano,
sure.
right? So it's a good thing. Congratulations to you and to the team as well. But what informed your coming into Accra for the first time? That's the first question.
Yeah.
And then what keeps you coming back? Because this is your third time.
For sure. So I think it's a regional strategy, and with Accra, with a lot of the other places. So again, I want to go back to kind of like what this R&B movement is. So in terms of like R&B listenership, a lot of the countries in Africa are like the highest on Spotify. Like especially like South Africa, Southern Africa, people love R&B. So one of the things that we notice is we look for places that are gaps. And I know that here in Accra there is an existing R&B party and they're doing great, and it's like much love to them. But a lot of the parties that are doing R&B now are nostalgia parties. It's throwback music, 90s, 2000s, and the way that we position Strictly Soul is we're a progressive R&B party. So we play the old music, but we are also very focused on the new music, which is why our attendees, we have our millennials, but it's mostly Gen Z.
So you have like a fine blend of guests.
But that's the position that we want to be in. So like even if you look at the events that I'm getting booked for, it's like Summer Walker, Mariah the Scientist, like the new school artists is like Snow Allegra, Mariba. Those are the positions that we want to be aligned to, which is the new music that's coming out. As much as we love the old music, we play the old music, but we don't want to be stuck in the 90s, 2000s.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the big things. And most of the cities that we go to do not have an R&B event that kind of caters to new music and to a younger crowd. And for us, Accra also means an opportunity to possibly expand into Nigeria, maybe other parts of West Africa.
Because you mentioned Nigeria, how soon is that coming?
We'll see. I was there. Last year just to do research, and we have someone on the ground there who's looking out for us, but at the same time we're always looking at 4 or 5 different countries at any time, so whichever team puts in the best proposal. So in addition to Nigeria, we're also looking at Mozambique, Lesotho, and then outside of Africa we're looking at the Philippines and Singapore. Okay.
All right, great. So it's happening on October 24th, which is tomorrow. Right?
Yeah.
What's the fulfillment for you, also knowing that you've been able to hold successful events back to back to back?
For us, we don't look at it, I guess, in to a certain extent numbers, but it's about finding the community. And I think, again, like we mentioned, it's like, we have a very specific type of R&B that we like. So it's like putting out the bat signal, like we want all those people to kind of come and find us. And it usually takes a couple events for the right people to be like, oh, wow, nobody plays that song or that type of artist, or wow, they're playing stuff that only I listen to. I think that's the most fulfilling thing, is when people come up and say, like, y'all play the music that I play at home. Nobody else plays it out. I think that's what we're trying to do in terms of finding the community. And it takes a few events, but that's what we're looking for in Accra.
Okay. Are you looking at collaborations with other DJs as well?
Yes.
And if so, which DJs? Are they Ghanaian DJs, or are you flying them in as well?
So right now we're partnered with DJ Dennis from the Playlist Party.
Okay.
So he's got his collective of DJs. Again, like the type of crowd he has is very much aligned to like what we're looking for. And then also even musically as well. These are younger kids, they're Gen Z guys. We feel like they're tapped in musically with what's what's popping in the crop for that generation. So everywhere we go, we always partner with at least one or two local DJs, and we try and rotate it. And then another thing with us being the biggest like event series in Africa, we try and move talent from different cities. So AD DJ has played with us in Rwanda. We've had Kenyan DJs play with us in Tanzania.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we try and move people around because again, it's like when you come to Strictly Soul, it's about feeling that you're part of something bigger, something international. So being able to move the talent around is an important thing for us.
Okay. Good job on that one as well, because I like the intentionality of also now saying that even though this person is not used to that environment, when you move them there, they'll still be able to introduce themselves to, that's like a new group of people, a new demographic who may not even have known this person, this DJ from back when, right? So I think that is a good thing to do. Now, it's only right, because you've been to Accra over and over, to ask you if you have a favorite Ghanaian meal.
So I'm a big seafood person.
Okay.
So I like a lot of the seafood that you guys have. So for me, a whole fish, like that's a win at all times. And then of course, like, gotta have the jollof. So I'm putting on Thiboho. We're putting her on to jollof. It's her first time in Accra.
So first time in Ghana.
Yeah, so we're gonna put her onto that. But I mean, I love the seafood, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So try kenke then. Have you heard of kenke?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So please tell DJ Dennis to get you some really good Ghana kenke.
Yeah.
Ghana kenke with fish and octopus and shrimps, you know. However, because you say you like seafood. I do. Okay, so try that.
Will do.
All right. Thank you, DJ Akio, for coming, and all the best tomorrow.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
Glad I did. Shouts to Sabo and Sabo, and this is coming from Tenny. Okay, my name is Tenny now, guys. Just understand that I'm part of DJ Akio's team. By fire, by force. They keep giggling when I mention the name. I don't know if I'm butchering it, but Sabo, am I saying it right? I'm saying it right. Yes. Sabo. But guys, it's been a conversation with DJ Akio. My name is Lenny Lomote.